It has been a while. Oh, but I'm back, baby. My purchasing essentially stopped for several reasons. I focused a little bit on my collected editions. One of my favorite genres is spy espionage, and I got into spy espionage novels, so I have a nice little collection going there. And I was just trying to focus my collection in. If you have seen my past videos, I got kind of heavy into Golden Age, Atomic Age, war books, romance books, and just going after the ones I was really wanting or things I found that were really good deals. And I had saved searches for books I wanted, but the books that would come up were too expensive. The condition wasn't there. Both of those too expensive for the condition. Books not even related to the ones I was searching for would come up. And I just got kind of annoyed with it, got a little fed up with it. Took a little step back, and now I am re-entering, and I'm excited. It'd been a long, and you go to the LCS, kind of have the same stuff, so you have to wait a little bit, or I do anyway. I wait a little bit. I'm busy too. But anyway, got the bug back. So now I'm back. I'm full throttle. I'm going insane. Mortgaging the house, selling the kids. I figured I'd go to my LCSs because I'm very fortunate. I have a good amount of them. There's 3 shops owned by one guy. One of them is essentially worthless. It's more of a Funko Pop, that sort of thing. It's in a mall. I don't know if that matters, but it's in a mall. It's just the comics aren't the main focus, and they're all overpriced. Then there's his 2 other shops are very good. And then there's a shop that I have gone to a couple times, and I went back there, and we'll just go through these really quick because I don't really care about these, but these are, I don't know, relatively big right now. So I picked up 3 of these absolute Batman number 1s. Everything's high grade. It was sticker price, $4.99 on that. This is the Noir edition, so technically it's not the first printing, but it is because it's the first printing of the Noir edition, even though it came out after y'all know what I'm saying. And then I got this absolute Batman number 6. I don't care about them. I'm going to sell them. And I think probably make a little bit of money there. Nothing too crazy. This is a buck. So I picked up this first appearance of Static. Number 1. Low grade. Might be worth $1. I don't know. And then I was excited about this one. So with re-entering the comic book marketplace, and I'm trying to focus in, trying to refine my collection. I'm kind of going through, taking characters that I like, and trying to think of, or go through and find like not necessarily the definitive cover, a definitive cover, one of the definitive covers. And this caught my attention anyway, for The Flash. This is The Flash number 316. I paid $3 for this. A definitive cover might display character set powers or their personality. This, I think, does a really good job. And who doesn't love messing with the trade dress, is knocking all these, zooming past, and there goes the number of the comic codes falling off. So I think this is really cool. I'd say that's a pretty good Flash cover. So I was excited to find that, pick that up. Anyway, that's the comic book shop that I about never go to, that every time I go, cool, I don't have to go again. And then it'll be 2 years, and then I'll head back in there. It's more of a gaming shop. Not Dungeons, maybe Dungeons and Dragons. What do you call it? Like Warhammer, stuff like that. Which is cool. I don't have any problem with it, but that's just the focus of the shop. Now, the LCS owner that owns 3 shops in my location, the one that is in my hometown, it's kind of his home shop. I used to go there quite a bit, but I haven't gone in there as much. When COVID was happening and the comic boom was happening, I went in there and I raided a lot of his boxes, and I got a lot of good deals, I think. And then somewhere along the line, he stopped pricing stuff. you would be like, hey, how much is this? He'd look it up. He'd let you know, which is fine. It's his prerogative, but I'm not going to go and quote unquote waste my time digging through boxes if he's just going to give me whatever price he comes up with on the spot. Especially when he pretty much just looks on eBay. I can look on eBay. Anywho, he wasn't there today. So there was a worker there. So I was like digging through some boxes and I was like, hey, what happens if there's no price on the books? There's a price on the first book. But anyway, she said it's just the price that's on the cover and we round up. So I paid $3 for this Adam Hughes Vengeance of Vampirella number 10. I like Adam Hughes. Not like the biggest Adam Hughes fan. There is a Red Sonja cover. I can't remember off the top of my head which one it is, but there's a Red Sonja cover of his, and that's probably my favorite, Adam Hughes. This is Adam Hughes doing his best Dave Stevens. You kind of leads you to believe that it is Dave Stevens. There's a coupon inside for a Dave Stevens poster, but I think that sure looks like a Dave Stevens Bambi right there. This was from 93, and the other book was from 1995. So I don't know if he was just kind of refining his style. I don't know if it was just kind of a Dave Stevens homage. I don't know. And if you look it up, it says it's Adam Hughes. I don't see the AH anywhere, whereas, you know, he signs his books, the AH with the exclamation point. I don't see one on here, so I don't know if, like, the Dracula in the back is Adam Hughes, and that is a Dave Stevens. Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, it's a very cool cover. So I paid $3 for that. And I'm a big Usagi Yojimbo fan. I like precipitation on my covers, as weird as that might sound. Wind, rain. So I know wind isn't precipitation, but like the personification of weather, I like to see the effects of it. Anywho, snow too. This is a really cool Usagi Yojimbo 134. I paid $4 for that, and I think it was well worth it. There was actually some more. I should have just snagged them while I was there, but anywho, yeah, I thought this was great. I thought this was a pretty good pickup from that place. Then, and this was over the course of a few days. This wasn't all in the same day. I went to that LCS owner's other LCS, his other one, and he has a good selection there. That one's in an outdoor mall. I don't know why that matters, but it is. And I probably overpaid for this Daredevil 178. Frank Miller. This is where Daredevil meets Iron Fist and Power Man. And when I first started collecting comics, I wanted to read Daredevil because I was like, hey, Daredevil's cool, like the TV show. And where do you start with that? I read some stuff, and everyone was like, oh, you got to check out Frank Miller's run on Daredevil. So I collected that whole run. And that was fun. And then I sold it. So now I kind of piece it back every now and then. This is a nice high-grade book. And I pick them up when I see them. Obviously, First Electra's a big one there. So with refocusing my energies and trying to get my collection to just spending my energy and my funds, funneling those where I would like, I'm starting to get into the Bronze Age. And Frank Bruner covers. Not that this is one, but Frank Bruner has these awesome Doctor Strange covers. So this one's pretty good too. This is Doctor Strange 21, but I figured I'd pick up a lot of these Frank Bruner covers, such as Doctor Strange 30. So I paid $5 for that. I paid $7 for this. It's not my favorite Bruner, but you got to collect them all. This is a pretty nice one. $5 for number 28. Pretty cool. The colors are nice. So along with that, with those, this comic book shop is where I picked up this House of Mystery 236, this pretty iconic Bernie Wrightson cover. So I figured I'd go back to the well and see if they had anything else I could bring home with me. They had this weird Mystery Tales 21. That's a Wrightson. Paid $5 for that. What was that, 73? 75. This was for 73. House of Mystery 214. It's another Wrightson. So these are all probably going to be out the door Paid $12 for that one. This is House of Mystery 255 from 1977, and we're kind of going in order of most desirable, highly collectible. Yeah, that's cool. Just the horror's not necessarily my cup of tea. Here's House of Mystery 256. This one, though, once I got a hold of that one, that might be one that I hold on to. I like that one. Nice 80-page. I might read these. I've been interested picking up the omnibus. They have the House of Mystery and the House of Secrets omnibus, and maybe I'd purchase that and read it that way. This is a pretty famous rights in there. House of Secrets 103 from 1972. Did I say what this is from? 1978. That's a pretty famous one. The black is unforgiving. I mean, you're not going to get away from that, but it's not the highest grade, but paid $10 for that. And this is one of the, and it's not a rights in, and this is one of the more sought after Bronze Age horror books. House of Secrets 123 by Frank Robbins. Where are these from? 74. Not the highest of grade, but $10 and $17. I should be able to turn a nice little profit on those and pick up those Frank Bruner Doctor Stranges. It's an interesting cover. All right, moving along. This next stack, and it's a pretty decent sized stack, is from my main LCS. This is the shop I like to go to most often, and I plunder his 50-cent bins. This is The Spirit by Will Eisner. I already had that one, but for 50 cents, I figured I'd take a shot. Same thing with this Warlord 41. I already have that. But for 50 cents, I came home and I wrote down, made my list of these books, because I think I have another series coming up. That one, I was able to get all of them. The ones I got, I didn't already have. That's what I wanted to say. I recognized this book. I wasn't sure what it was. For 50 cents. It's an early Image. Knew that it probably wasn't quote-unquote worth it, but key here is first, I think it's the cameo of the She-Dragon. So there's Savage Dragon versus the Savage Megaton Man. Number 1. Night Cat. I just remember seeing this. Hollyaz, a big fan of this Premiere Night Cat. The Premiere, it's the only one. Joe Jusko cover. Like the cats. Anyway, picked that up. He's a fan of that, so I figured I'd get that, check it out. I picked stuff up like this, especially for 50 cents when I can find it, because who knows, it might be $1 million. It's not, but it could have been. Cool little ash can and number 1 of Loudmouth Louie from Funky Devil Productions. What is this from? Did I write that down? Looks like is that 95 probably? 95 or 85 down there? Does not look like a kid I would want my kids to hang out with. Oh, this was cool. I picked up this Miss Fury. It's this not special edition, limited edition Miss Fury. This isn't the coolest part. There's the art in here. Kind of neat. I don't remember how many issues this was. But what the cool thing about this was, I will show you. That's not it. Here we go. Black Fury by Tarpe Mills. So this was before she became Miss Fury. And it's all the newspaper strips. This is from April 6th, 1941. Cool. That's a nice little added, even more reason to get the book. There's not too many of them. You can pause and read it. And I just learned from Comic Collector Geek and Steven Steppo that Tarby Mills was a female. I wasn't aware of that. One of the more rare Golden Age female artists, I guess, but especially Golden Age. All right, and since we had Adam Hughes from our first collection, we have some more Adam Hughes here. This is Ghost 5 and 6 from Dark Horse Comics, both Adam Hughes covers. I like one more than the other. Both pretty cool. All right, here's a run that I found myself working on. That's one nice thing about this comic book shop is it's good for runs, especially more modern runs. I guess I shouldn't say more modern because that's relative. And what, this is from 95, and I hate to say it, guys, but I don't think that's modern anymore. But he's really cool. Jim Bayland, Alan Grant, Catwoman runs. There's a nice one, number 33, all for 50 cents. So I'm working on this run. And what's nice about these is most of the time they're in pretty decent grade because they're not the oldest books ever. And for 50 cents, and I figured I'll put them together, and I'll have some nice reading material. I thought I recognized this one from the Catwoman, or I guess the Batman Legacy storyline, which I very much enjoyed. I read through that. And that one's also from that. Last one was 35. This is 36. It's kind of an interesting cover. It's so far away. Why are they so far away? Anyway, working on that. Don't know how many issues there are, but I didn't have any of those too, so that was fun. This is cool. 50 cents, 1977. J.M. DeMatteis, 84. Older than I am for 50 cents. Oh, I've been getting into Luis Dominguez, so I want to collect all the Scalp Hunters and maybe some of the other work that he's done. Does a lot of good work on weird war tales, weird Western tales. So, don't know much about Scalp Hunter, but probably be a cool little run to get. This is another accidental collection. Is these Brian Boland Wonder Woman issues of Wonder Woman. This is number 74. Not the best one. All right, so we have Mike Grell here. I'm about halfway through this omnibus. I'm very much enjoying it. There's a really cool forward in the front of it. It's where you would find forwards, but it's a pretty interesting read. I think he was working, this is from 1982, this John Sable Freelance. Mike Grell did this with First Comics, and I just kind of got out of the superhero game, and he didn't really have a ton of interest in doing superhero work anymore. And they were like, well, what if we took Green Arrow and made him, per their words, him and, is it Mike Grell and Mike Gold? Somebody Gold. Were they both Mike? Anyway, it was the editor's idea to pitch to him, what if you made him an urban hunter? And he said that Green Arrow is, I think, one of his favorites, or his favorite superhero when he was growing up. So he kind of jumped at the opportunity, because like I said, he was just didn't really have any interest in doing tights and capes anymore. So a more grounded street level hero appealed to him. And I am enjoying the writing, so I was excited to pick these up. That's 1, 2, and 3. Again, the 50-cent bins. I'm kicking myself. I'm a big Nick Fury fan. There's that espionage and spy genre that I am a fan of. And there was a bunch of Nick Fury's, like the 90s or the late 80s or 90s run when I first started collecting comics. And for whatever reason, I didn't pick them up. And I just kind of keep thinking in the back of my mind, if I keep going, they're going to be there. Somebody will come in with a bunch of them, and I'll pick them all up for 50 cents. Number 8. Number 15, I picked up darn near complete run of Warlord. Well, I don't want to say darn near complete, but a lot of Warlord for 50 cents. They're more micro. So 17, kind of go a little quicker or quickly through these. 19, don't really know much about John Sable. Do you have to say John Sable Freelance, or is it like John Sable Freelance? I don't know. Can you just call it John Sable? I don't think so. It's John Sable Freelance. 22, 23, 24, 27, 36. These kind of remind me of, and Mike Grell, the grounded stuff, reminds me of, blanking. Miss Tree. Who did Miss Tree? Max Allen Collins. Miss Tree. Anyway, that was fun. I was excited to see those. There's some omnibus out. I think it might be, I don't know if they're hardcover or paperback, but large collections that Mike Grell put out. Maybe I'll buy them to support them. Anywho, alongside that Scalp Hunter, I am a Jonah Hex fan. So I was excited to see this cool Justice League of America 198 for $4. The cover makes it look like they're going to fight each other. Jonah Hex is saying, whenever you hombres feel lucky, draw. But what is inside is 4 little stories, and it'd be Batlash versus Flash, Cinnamon versus, not versus, but there's a story in there, and maybe they start out fighting, but they come together. Cinnamon and Wonder Woman, Jonah Hex, Green Lantern, then Scalp Hunter there, and is that Elongated Man? But yeah, it's not really a showdown, as it says, the most sensational showdown. It's not. Am I on a Neil Adams kick? I don't know, but his art style is distinctive. So when I am flipping through and I see Neil, I'm like, oh, that's a neat cover. Is that a Neil Adams cover? And if it's for a decent price, I pick it up. It says it right there, but here's this cool Superman 307 by Neil Adams. How much did I pay for this? $3. Cool. Everybody talks about how much they like Neil Adams, so it's kind of like, throw it in the box, and it's a pretty cool cover. And here's one that I've seen, Superman 317. I think I got paid $10 for this. Yeah, $10. It's another Neil Adams. He's green because he's turning into the Hulk. Either that or it's the kryptonite implanted in his body and it will kill him. But before I die, he's going to take us with him. So here he is. He's pretty upset because she killed 7 million people. And he's going to take you with him. He's talking to the bad guy. It's okay, but what a change. Anyway, that's pretty cool. And then I took all those up to the front desk. And that's where they have the books behind the cases or on the wall, and I spotted a book. And I was like, it's a pretty nice book. And, you're just kind of interested how much they're asking for books. And I said, hey, how much is that book? And he looked at it and he said, $225. And I said, oh, I think that's a pretty good price for that book. Can I take a look at it? I said, oh, okay, that's cool. Is the coupon in there? I said, yeah, the book's complete. And I said, cool, can I take it out and look at it? He said, sure. And I looked at it, and this is the book I looked at, but it's not complete. I went through, I felt kind of bad. The coupon's there, but there's a panel, and the Hulk is gone from it. There's a stamp, good old Cyclops, right next to that. It's a panel gone. It's an incomplete. Oh, no. But, so I was like, oh, okay, sorry about that. I feel like I gave him some really bad news. But I was thinking about it. And I just saw that. I want this book. I didn't think I'd ever buy it. Because I don't know that I'd pay the prices to get it. And I asked him, said, hey, with that panel being cut out, how much would the book be now? I said it was $225, right? It was initially $225. He's like, I don't know, $100. And I was like, oh, shoot. $100. Let me look at that. And I don't know. I told him as much. I was like, I don't know that I could get this in this condition which is, it has its minuses, but it's pretty solid. Obviously, that panel's cut out, so it technically is incomplete. I don't know why I'm saying technically because it's like technically not. I think it's because the part that you would want is there. Like I paid $100 for that. Isn't that cool? I never thought I'd get that. First appearance of Wolverine. If you really want to tangle with someone, why not try your luck against the Wolverine? Right? Like, pretty cool. First appearance, not in cameo. Maybe it's the beginning of a story that's continued in 181, but this is the first appearance of everybody's favorite Knucklehead. That awesome for $100. So I don't know if I'll ever have it 181. If I become like a big enough Wolverine fan, I'm kind of in my hipsterness and also. What do I want to say? Mostly my hipsterness. I'm not anti-X-Men. I'm not anti-Spider-Man, but I don't want to say I don't want to be just another person collecting them, because I think they're cool, they're fine. I actually really liked the X-Men show when I was growing up, and I do want to read some of it, but it's just spency, man. They're just costly books. So to get this one, I was very excited to have this. So this is something that'll go in my, maybe I can sell all those Bronze Age horror books and pay for this. That'd be cool. What else do I have to say? Hey, thanks for joining me. That was fun. I had fun. I had fun buying them. I had fun showing them. I hope you had fun seeing them. More books are on the way.